What's up, everyone? Today, let's answer a question that we got from the comment section down below. And here's the question. Let's read over it real quick. She says, I own a business with my ex-narcissist, and that's making me feel stuck. I'm pretty sure I know what I need to do, but it would be great to hear your opinion or watch a vid on what to do when it's almost impossible at present to go full no contact. Thanks again. Also, she said, I had discovered your channel. You have a nice first perspective on this stuff. So thank you so much for that question. And also really quick, I love when you guys type questions down in the comment section, because then I can make these videos answering your guys' questions and they help everybody out. So if you have a question that you want answered as you go through these videos, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below so I can get to it and answer it. Let's go ahead and get into this. I typed out a bunch of notes, so let me pull those up and let's answer this question fully and in detail. So let's talk about how to escape these relationships even when it seems like it's almost impossible. And these are some of the notes that I wrote down about what my personal opinion would be in these relationships. And hopefully you can see when I'm typing these notes out, like I've said many times before on this channel, essentially what I like to do with this is it's like my online thoughts journal. And what I would be telling, myself in this situation is what I like to tell you guys in this situation. So in this particular situation, there's many reasons that people can be in a relationship that's extended with, in this case, a narcissist that is still in your life. And it could be any type of negative relationship that you want to leave and that is not healthy, that's a toxic relationship that is making you unhappy and is not having a positive impact in your life. And reasons that people might stay in these relationships for a very long time can be things like a business, it can be things like a marriage, and it can also be having kids involved where these kids are young and there's going to be many years still to come of raising these children, and you have a parent that is not a healthy parent to have around, and then you're also concerned about raising the healthiest, happiest children and still having the input from the other parent but without having a negative impact on the children. And this puts you in a tough spot, because I'll say it right off the bat, there are situations where it may take a period of years before you can fully remove yourself from having a relationship with this person that has been in your life. And with that being said, even though it may take a long time to be able to go full no contact with this person that is having a negative impact on your life, there are things that we can do to eliminate and completely stop the negative impact that they're having on your life. And the way that we can do this is by creating independence for you. And I'm talking about internal independence as well as external independence. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the things that you can do to create internal, psychological, emotional independence so that these people cannot affect you, and as well as external independence so that there is nothing in the external world that they can use to control and manipulate you. See, when it comes to internal resistance and internal independence, as long as this toxic person is in your life and they can trigger you, they can control you. So we're going to create that emotional and psychological independence for you so that you cannot be triggered and you cannot be controlled. And also, if you're in a situation, let's say you're a spouse and you're not the breadwinner in this situation, let's say you're in a marriage and whatnot, and you're dependent on this other person for, let's say, income, or it can be any situation where you are dependent on that other person for something. We must also create external independence on those things so that you cannot be manipulated with those external factors. So with that being said, we're clear. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. First of all, let's create internal independence. And I'm going to be checking my notes as we go along since I wrote a few things down. First, what I love about the comment that we just read is that this is advice number one. She says right in here, she says, I think I already know what I should be doing. And If that is not the most true thing ever. In fact, I remember when I went to Tony Robbins' seminar, Unleash the Power Within, it was so cool. And he was talking about making these life-changing decisions. And he said something with me that's really stuck with me for years, and I've adopted it as literally a part of myself, and that I say to you guys now, is that he was just talking about something, I can't remember exactly what the subject was, but he was talking about life-altering decisions, how it only takes an instant to change your life, and it comes down to making a decision at that moment. And he said, if you think about it, you already know what to do. You just need to summon the courage to do it. And I have that same advice for you guys, because I took that advice to heart and it really changed my life. And when I talk to you, you already know what you need to do. Now we just need to summon the courage to be able to do that. So that's step number one in creating this emotional independence, that you already know what to do. And if you're in a spot where you don't know fully what to do yet, here's what you need to do. You need to dig deep into your heart. You need to take some time apart from everything, apart from everyone. Just get in touch with yourself and listen to yourself and learn what you want to do. If you are not aware of this yet, then it's important that you take the time to get in touch with who you are on the inside so that you can make the proper decision for you. Next thing we need to do is that we need to prepare ourselves to summon the courage that we need to summon in order to make the life-changing decisions that we want to make. So I want you to prepare yourself to have the courage that you need to have in order to take the actions that you're going to be taking, because a lot of the times there's going to be fear, and fear is the this need for certainty in our life, which is something that we'll be talking about in the next coming minutes, is an essential human need that we must take care of in our lives. And so when there's times when we're going to be facing uncertainty, it's important that we have the courage to be able to head into that uncertainty. So preparing yourself mentally to summon the courage when it's time to summon it is really important. And an awesome exercise really for this would be to go through maybe some practice scenarios in your head. But really for me, what I like to do is I just like to give myself a pep talk and remind myself of the reasons why I need to be taking an action. And sometimes, in fact, what I like to do, and this is a little trick I have, it's called the 5-second rule. And I personally like to call it maybe even the 2-second rule. So essentially, you have 5 seconds before you have interrupting thoughts come into your brain. And if you take action when you have a thought within 5 seconds, it is a lot easier to get the train going than for it to stop. I actually saw this in a book. This is something that I've been doing for years, but I actually saw this in a book when I was in Barnes & Noble, and she called it the 5-second rule, so that's what I call it. I like to even go as far as saying this is like the 2-second rule. And in a way, what this reminds me of too is sometimes, you know, just being a guy, I would see an attractive girl that I wanted to go talk to. And a long time ago, when I was trying to build confidence within myself, I was too scared to go up and talk to that girl. Now, if I see a girl that I want to go up and talk to, I give myself 2 seconds to go up and initiate communication with her, and, you know, try to strike up a conversation or to just walk away. Because the longer that you let moments sit there, the more difficulty you're going to have, because then you have interrupting thoughts come in, and then those thoughts build upon themselves and you start digging yourself a little hole. So just prepare yourself to bring up the courage that needs to be summoned in order to do the things that you need to do. Next is I want you to take some time to heal your wounds. I want you to ask yourself, what could possibly go wrong in this scenario as you're trying to create independence from this relationship? Ask yourself, what are the things that have gone wrong and what could go wrong? And take some time to dig into those and really understand why they happen and what positive lessons you've learned from having been in those situations. And now that you understand that, we can move on to the next portion of creating internal, emotional, and psychological independence, which is to become committed to meeting your needs. And this is simply a decision that you just must make. In fact, you can make that decision right now as you're watching this video. And I want you to make that decision that above all else, you are going to meet your needs. You're not going to put other people's needs ahead of your own. You're going to put your needs first and take care of you. That's a decision that you must make right away. And if you're not ready to make that decision, then I want you to take some time to understand why you're not ready for that decision yet. Next, and this is the final thing that I would say for creating emotional and psychological independence, is to write a note to your future self. After you've made the decisions, and once you are further along in the process and you are happy at the results you are achieving, what are you going to say? What is your future self going to say to your past self when you are going through this process of creating independence? And maybe there's going to be times that you tell that your future self is telling you, hey, if you're having doubts at this moment, it's okay, stay strong, life is so good here. And go step into that future self and write to your past self so that you have a solid foundation to lean on whenever times get difficult. You can emotionally go back to that future self and coach yourself through any difficulties you're having at any given moment. Now let's talk about how to create external independence. Now, as for this specific situation, we're talking about a business is involved, and this could go along for having families involved, as you have kids involved, for any situation where you need to create external independence. And a lot of this is going to come down to taking action on changing your life circumstances. And the way that we can do this, first of all, is to start to create certainty. Remember a little bit ago how I said that having uncertainty is one of the fears that humans have, and what we want is having certainty. It's one of our primary needs. So what we want to do is try to create that certainty by creating a future vision. What do you want your life to look like now that you've moved forward from this relationship? Take some time to write down the ideal vision of your life once you've totally separated from this relationship. What do you want your finances to look like? What do you want your health to look like? What house do you want to live like? What car do you want to drive? Take some time that you want to really dig into the dream life that you want to live. And for some people, this might just be, if this isn't too big of an issue, this could just be a very simple exercise. Or maybe for some of you that are in more difficult situations, maybe you have this business partner, maybe you've been married to this person for 10, 15 plus years. Who knows, in your life might totally change by leaving this relationship. It doesn't matter what situation you're in, it's important to have a vision that you want to look forward to, and that's what you're going to strive for. So you're going to create that certainty by knowing what direction you want to take your life in. And what I want you to do with this vision is to take some time to visualize upon it daily. Maybe just 5 minutes. What I like to do is 15 minutes of visualization every single day, and use that to create the vision to remind yourself of the life that you want to live. Next, what we want to do to create external certainty is now we want to write down goals that align with this vision that are measurable. So if you have a business, what you will probably want to do is you will want to create independence by maybe separating yourself completely from this business and starting your own without having that partner as a part of it. And maybe what you need to do here is to create the measurable goals that will classify what success will look like in your vision. Maybe you start a new business and you match the same amount of revenue, or you take it to greater heights. Or if you have a family with this person, maybe you're going to separate yourself and you're going to create new friendships and new relationships with other people that are going to help and add to your happiness. Now what we want to do, that you have a measurable goal, we want to go ahead and create what I call performance milestones. And what I like to do is have a list of milestones that are repeatable, that you can act on consistently in order to accomplish your goals. In fact, I believe I got the video I got this comment on was what to do if you feel like you're in a rut. And I was talking about how I felt like I was in a rut for a little bit, and my action plan to accomplish those goals and those objectives. So what I did is that I wanted to take this channel from, I believe I used to have 50 followers about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I said I wanted to take it to 1,000 subscribers by September 30th. And one of the ways that I was going to do that was by posting 5 videos a week, trying to do 1 video every single weekday. I started doing that. It's been 1 week and look, we're absolutely killing it, blowing out of the water. We're going to cross 1,000 subscribers tomorrow, which is so exciting. And that's because I set a performance milestone, something that I was going to perform on every single day. So once you have this performance milestone that you can act on consistently to accomplish your goal, you need to start taking action on that to build your independence apart from this relationship that you have previously with this person that you want to separate from. Now that you're doing those things, you're in a really good spot to start making progress to creating not only internal independence, but also external independence as well. And once you have the full independence outside of this relationship, you will no longer have any ties to this relationship, and that will put you in a really good spot to move forward. There are times, for example, especially when there's children involved, that you may need to have occasional communication with this person, and it becomes practically impossible to go no contact. However, this period of not being able to go no contact will only last maximum a few years, which sounds like a very long time. But the thing is, if you become completely emotionally and psychologically independent as well as externally independent, you really won't even be thinking of this person, and the thoughts won't really cross your mind, and you won't be bothered by it because you are independent, you are without them, and you are happy and self-sufficient, and they cannot trigger you and they cannot affect your lives anymore. And that's the whole purpose of all this. Just as a quick bonus note to all this, I want to say, don't tell the narcissist that you're trying to create independence away from them, because if you do, they will use one of the 32 tactics that I talk about in my other videos that you can check out to try to manipulate you and control you. Because if you become independent, you are essentially taking out all of their lifeline, their supply, and that's not going to make them happy. So they're going to potentially love bomb you, devalue you, discard you, whatever it is that they're going to do. You don't know which tactic they're going to pick, but they are going to do their best to try to keep you latched onto them for as long as possible. Next, if you're in a very extreme situation where this person will not leave you alone, maybe they might stalk you, they might follow you around, you may need to go to extreme measures, and maybe you might need to have to call the police. I had a friend whose narcissist, who the person that she was dating would not leave her alone, and she actually had to call the police to get the police to remove him from the house. And you know, sometimes these situations do happen, and they're extreme and they're very unfortunate, and I'm sorry if you've had to go through that, and that may be a last resort. But what you'll want to do, if you don't have to go to that extreme, is just focus on creating that independence. If you have gone to that extreme, it's also important for you to create your independence so that there really is no need at all to go back into that in any situation. Sweet, so that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button down below. Also, get your free Legend wristband. Just go to the link in the description. I send those out to you guys for free as long as you guys help me out with shipping. And then as a bonus, you get a little 10% discount code to the store. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.